Hi, friends. How is everyone doing? I hope you had a really, really great week. Ooh, I feel like our lighting is doing some funky things here. If I turn that down, it's weird because look, that's daylight still. So I've got it open because like daylight, but it's like making the lighting awkward. So hopefully it's not too bad. Hi Deku, hi Amanda and Amanda and Marissa. Hello everyone. We are back to Friday. Hello, hello, hello. Oh my gosh, so many people popping in right at the beginning. Hello, other Amanda. Yeah, that's the first it's not the first time I've seen two Amandas in the chat, but it's the first time that I think I've seen you guys like back to back. So hopefully, hello. Hopefully everyone had a really good week. I feel like some stuff has gone down since last time I talked to you guys. I got my hair cut today, so it's like that is not just how it's sitting on my shoulders. I cut it all much shorter than it was because during the panorama, I cut it myself when the salons were closed. Bonjour, and it was really uneven. So actually, like underneath was shorter than the outer layer. I don't know how I managed it. But so we finally like evened it out. So now all my hair is even except for where I had the like undercut that's short. It'll be like where my hair is almost in like 6 months or about there. So I did that. I went and got some craft supplies. I made some things this week. I feel like I've got a lot of stuff to do this weekend. I got a lot of stuff done this week. So hello, everyone. A weekend filled with crafting. What master plans do you have for this weekend? Well, first things first, I want to finish this. I think I showed you guys this last live stream. I haven't had a ton of time to work on it. So this is the blanket I'm working on. Now the actual pattern has like another 2 rows on top of this like diamond, but I was like, I don't think I have the yarn for that. And the point of making these things for my friends is obviously to give something to my friends, but to also use up some of the yarn and stuff I have. So I was like, this yarn only comes in big balls. So it would kind of be, a moot point to go out and buy more. So I just shortened it a little bit. So I am going into another section like this. Then I'll do another section like this bottom part and then do the border on it. So I'm really, really happy with how this is turning out. This is my first mosaic crochet project and I've really been loving it. So yeah, I'm in love with it. I don't know. I originally started it for my friend, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to give it up. And then I also got yarn because my mom's birthday just passed. And I asked her what she wanted. And I don't know, all these blankets you guys sometimes see, it's really dark right now because the light coming in from the window. But all the blankets that are generally along the back of my couch, I made. And the one that's got green in it was originally supposed to be for my mom for Christmas. And then my daughter decided that it was hers and she would not give it up. So my mom was like, well, maybe make me a new blanket since Skylar took mine. So I've got yarn for that. And I think I'm going to do kind of the basic diamond pattern that's at the bottom with some blanket yarn. So I got this like pale pink kind of dusty rose color with some sparkle in it. And then this has the same like dusty rosy color in it in small sections and then it changes. So I'll do this probably as the pattern. And then this is like the background. And then I got so many craft things on the go. It's not even funny. Then I'm really excited because my friend gave me some yarn that really is basically like roving. So it just falls apart. So there will be a video filmed this weekend about me attempting to card and spin yarn for the first time. So I'm super excited about that. I made this spindle, so I don't know how well it's going to work. And then, I got some small cards here. So that's exciting. And then I've got a thing made to try a knotting dangerously. I got so many plans for this weekend. That is like, what are my master plans? to craft until my little fingers fall off and then glue them back on and keep going, you know? Wow, that blanket is gorgeous. Thank you. I'm in love with it. I originally started it for my friend, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to give it up. I love your Muskoka sweater. What's your favorite place in Muskoka? That is actually where I am from. I was born in Bracebridge, and then between Bracebridge, I have a cat hair or something stuck to my lip chap. So I was born in Bracebridge, grew up in Bracebridge, went to school in Bracebridge, and then lived in Gravenhurst for a while. So that would be my favorite places, because that's still to this day, even though I left there when I was like 14, still to this day, I still kind of like think of it as home. So I've actually got a few sweaters. You guys have probably seen them. I got a pink one, a blue one, a purple one, a red one. I do have another pink one, but I don't think I've worn that in a video. Sounds like a potentially very productive weekend. That is my plan. That is my plan, to hopefully get a whole bunch of stuff done this weekend. Yeah, I got so much stuff to do. Hopefully it all works out. That's the goal. Ayo, what's up? What's up with you? I've got a ton of craft stuff going on. I got my hair cut, so it's all even now. So that's nice. Yeah, that's basically what's up with me. I don't really have much else going on. I mean, I got a bunch of stuff to do at work and stuff, but that's boring to talk about. As soon as I got the going live in 30 minutes, I ran to make chocolate cookie dough. Listen, I've got my edible cookie dough on the side here. I had it in the fridge though, so I'm waiting for it to come up to room temp so it's a little more edible. But I will definitely be munching on that during the live stream. So if you guys got your snacks, get your snack on with me. P.S. Super love the thumbnail for this live stream. The floof featured is so cute. That is Nala. I really tried for you guys because I don't think she's going to make an appearance. I really tried for you guys to get a thumbnail with my other cat in it, but she was just not having it. She did not want to participate in the thumbnail taking. So like these were the options with her. There was just that, which is like the top of her head. And there was this one, but you could see she's like, ah. And I'm like, yeah, someone will accuse me of animal abuse. And then there's this one where she's like completely not looking at the camera. So we used the other floof. The other floof took a number of pictures. So the big floof, but the floofs are not getting along. So if you guys hear any growling, hissing, snarling, or otherwise in the background, it's 100% coming from my apartment and it's 100% my cats. So that is happening. Probably because the giant floof is on a diet and has become very protective of her food bowl. But the giant floof needs to be on a diet. So, yeah, there's not much I can really do about it. I'm excited already. Me too. Oh my gosh. So much to do. I'm hoping, listen, some of these things might be a bit ambitious to get done all of it this weekend, but that is my goal. That is my goal. I'm working on pattern 101130 right now, and we'll probably move on to doing some seed bead stuff in a little while. Oh my gosh, excuse me, guys. What is that pattern? I want to see. 101130. Ooh, the fish. Cool. That's so bright and colorful. I love it. Hopefully you guys can see that well and it's not just like super whitewashing it out. That looks like, I imagine because it's literally a type of fish it looks like based on the actual comments. I expect you're probably doing it in these colors because I think that's the actual colors of the fish. But are you doing it in those colors? Let me know. Sounds like a fun weekend. I just finished a bookmark, 527H1, which feels like an accomplishment due to college. Yeah, when I was in college, I did not get a ton of crafting done. I got a blanket done, ironically. I had in 2 different semesters, I had a class and then I had like a 3-hour break and then another class. But I had to like take the bus. So it would have taken me like an hour to get home. And then it would take me like 15 minutes to walk from the bus stop. So I was like, there's no point in me leaving because it's going to take me an hour to get home, an hour to get back, half an hour to walk to and from the bus stop. I get half an hour at the house, or I might as well stay at the school. So I'd stay in like our cafeteria had like a lounge above it. So I'd stay in like the lounge and I'd generally bring DVDs, pop them in my laptop, and I would crochet, and I called them my semester blanket. And I'd make like a queen size blanket just on these days that I had these massive gaps. But outside of that, I didn't get like anything done. So 52781, that is what you said, right? Yes. This is a really cute coffee pattern. I love coffee so much. Like my dad does too. I think it's runs in the family. But that is really cute. I've added that to my to-dos. I might do a cleaning out my to-dos this weekend because I feel like it's starting to get out of hand again. Oh, I feel you. My floof was so angry when I put him on a diet. Yeah, she is not happy at all. Now, that being said, I think she is already, we're going into, this will be 3 weeks now. And I feel like, I don't know whether it's just she's getting more protective of it, so she's getting up more. But this cat that is in the thumbnail, the one that I showed you guys last week, she would literally lay on her side, like not like sit up, but lay on her side next to her food dish. So this would be her food dish. And she would take her paw, pull the kibble out over the side of the dish so it landed on the floor, and then go while she was laying down. So now she actually sits up, and I feel like she has started to lose a little bit of weight. But like this cat, I tell you, she is not happy with me. What is the knotting dangerously about? So I made this spindle from like a tutorial that used polymer clay. So this is like a drop spindle. They used polymer clay, and I had some extra. So there is a craft I want to try at some point, and that's pine needle basket weaving. And some people use like generally wooden discs with drilled spots around the outside. And I was like, how cool would it be? So I made this disc and I put a whole bunch of like holes around the outside. And I was like, how cool would it be to thread base strings up through all of these holes, knot around it? So this was like the base of a pouch. And I want to try it and see if it would work because I've never done that before. And I don't think I've seen anyone specifically do that. So I thought that could be kind of cool to try. I don't know how it will turn out. That's why it would be a knotting dangerously because I've never done it before. But I think it would be fun to try together. So that is the idea for the knotting dangerously. Your cats sound like Biscuit and our other dog, Max, like for the first 2 years after rescuing Biscuit. Our cats used to get along, like snuggle together the whole 9 yards. And then when I split with my ex and I moved out, he started sending me videos of them just really, really not getting along. And that was the first time they'd ever done this. And then they settled back down and they were okay. And he said they would do it once in a while. It would flare up for like a couple days and then they'd go back to being normal. And so I think it's a little bit of stress and coming here and then the diet on top of all of that change all happening at once, I think is not helping the situation. But it seems to be predominantly around the food dish, not always, but predominantly around the food dish. So I really think it's kind of a territory thing with the food at the moment. But hopefully it settles down because they never used to be like that. Hey friend, hey Leah, thank you for joining. Yeah, the fish. It's called a hama. Is it hama hama or huma huma? Huma 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 nuka nuka pawa triggerfish. State fish of Hawaii. I was gonna say, as soon as they started saying it out, I'm like, I recognize this. My aunt used to live in Hawaii. So I did go and visit her there once. I did. Her husband is military though, so they have since moved, but they were in Hawaii for a good few years. Ooh, I've been looking at that fish. It is very, very cool. It's very colorful. I like it. Oh, I just made that jump. Where was I? I was on a gotcha day. Speaking of rescuing Biscuit, the 27th is his 5th gotcha day. Oh, that's awesome. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out where I am on my pattern here. That's awesome. How old do you guys expect he is? Do you think, like, was he really little when you rescued him, or was he already like an adult when you rescued him? I'm assuming Biscuit is a him. I maybe shouldn't do that, but I guess you said his, so I guess I'm okay. I'm on like the 7th to last row. Yeah, I'm doing it in those colors. Oh, that's awesome. You are so close to being done. That's going to look so good. I'm working on a pattern, but I have the image on my computer. Can I send it through Instagram? Of course. Someone has sent me something on Instagram already. Ooh, Marissa, is working on some perler bead. Look at that. Cute little VW bug. I was never allowed to do perler beads. My mom would never get them for me. So I've never, ever done perler beads. Never, ever, ever. It's kind of something I want to try, but also I'm kind of like, now that I'm at this age, I'm kind of like, what would I do with it? So I don't know. But I still kind of want to try. Ooh, so this is, I'm pretty sure this is Tam. Yeah. So Tam, this is the pattern that Tam is working on. Hopefully, sometimes when I put stuff up to the screen, like I can see that it's whitewashing it out when I have it like there, but hopefully you guys can see that well enough. Very cool. That's another like kind of Celtic knot style outline bracelet. And I've never really made one of these, which is like, I feel like I made one, but I gave it away in a craft swap and it was like really wide, but that's really pretty. I'm kind of tempted. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie at all. Let's see. Last night, my father suffered a stroke while we were playing charades, but we all suck at that game. That is dark. That is, I'm not sure, your username is optimistically cynical, so I'm not sure if you are joking or if you're being serious. My mom had a stroke a couple years ago and is doing okay now, but it's not fun. It's quite scary. That is for sure. So if you are joking, that is dark. If you are not joking, I hope they are doing okay. Andrea, you made it. Yay. Yes, you messaged me earlier asking if I was going to be doing a stream tonight because I know your notifications never seem to work. So you always miss it. And I always see you in the comments after upset that you missed it. So I'm glad you made it this time. LMAO, anytime the other Amanda is tagged and highlights the Amanda for me, maybe I should change my user to Mandy. Oh, it highlights it because it thinks they're talking to you. I'm surprised I've never had that happen. I guess I don't really go into live streams very often. But I was going to say with Megan, that's a pretty common name. So what am I doing here? I've done something. I sent you a picture on Instagram of a perler bead car I made earlier, and I'm starting to dabble with it again. Yes, I just saw your picture. I've never done perler beads. I have never ever tried them, and anytime I ever asked for them, my mom always said no. And now I'm old enough, I just don't know what you would do with it. What do you do with it? Like, do you make it into keychains, or like, I guess you could kind of make like coasters, but I don't know how effective they would be because they kind of still have little holes in them even after they're pressed, don't they? I may have asked you this before, but if you tried Death Wish coffee, they have a dark roast and a medium roast. I have not. I typically get my Cafe Verona Starbucks beans and then I use my grinder. The only other one was there was a kick-ass coffee brand that my dad had got me once, like with the grinder, and it was pretty good. But I haven't tried that one before, no. Amanda, you're looking to do a fish or a fish very similar to that one too. Very cool. Ooh, pine needle basket weaving is so fun. Have you done it before? I've watched a few videos on it and I really want to try, but there's not a lot of that type of pine tree around me. They're generally, if they are, they're like specifically planted as like landscaping. So you have to like search them out. Otherwise, I don't know the exact kind of tree. I'm not a tree expert. Otherwise, we only have the little short needles, which you can't really do anything with. So I really want to try, but I'm going to have to like find a park that very specifically has long pine needle trees to like collect some needles. That sounds insanely cool. I'm not sure what you are referencing. But I'm glad you think so. Wamuhu, nuku. Okay, yeah. That sounds familiar. I know I'm late, but at least I'm here. That's okay, friend. We're only like 20 minutes in. We're just getting started. The party is just getting started. It's all good. How am I? I may have to abandon this project for the rest of the stream and maybe start on something else because I think I'm going to have to do some calculating and figuring here. Hello, Vanessa. Hello. I think I've seen keychains made out of pearly beads. I definitely have. I don't know how sturdy they are, though. Happy weekend, everyone. Happy weekend to you, too, Andrea. Biscuit was about 1 when we rescued him. He's as sweet as they come. He's become my emotional support dog, even when he's in a cone after his eye removal surgery. Oh, that's so sweet. I made a chapstick holder in the round once and it took 64 strings, so I don't think you can make a pouch on your loom thing without it being massive, but prove me wrong and I will be amazed. So I was thinking that too. I was like, maybe I should have put these holes closer together. But then I was thinking, what if instead of just pulling like a string up each hole, I could do 2 strings up each hole and double it, or I could literally weave a string or sew a string through the holes and then attach base strings to each of the loops in between each hole. And then you would get like 2 folded base strings. So you would get 4 strings in this little section and 4 strings in this little section, 4 strings in this little section. Because I thought about that too. I was like, I don't think it would stay like this size. It would become very, very narrow. And I don't think that would work. So I have been thinking about how to counteract that already. Hi, Kevin. Marissa, you're making it and you sell them at the craft fair you attend in November. Very cool. Very, very cool. How did you make that bracelet you have on, the yellow one? I love those. I did not make this, actually. My friend is one of my friends from work is from Jamaica, and he brought this back for me. It's got Bob Marley on it. And no one ever gets me bracelets because I make bracelets, so people assume that I wouldn't value a bracelet, but, I love it, so I wear it all the time. It's my Bob Marley bracelet from Jamaica. We did pine needle baskets once in, like, 5th grade. I haven't done it since, but I've always wanted to try again. Basket weaving in general really appeals to me. Very cool. Yeah, we never did anything like that. We did, like, actual sewing, like, the teacher cut a whole bunch of fabric squares, and we did actual sewing and did, like, a little, I don't know, basically like a handkerchief sort of thing, but we didn't do any, like, basket weaving or anything. We did a lot of, like, watercolor and stuff, and there was a guy in the area that did a lot of ceramic stuff, and his name was Art Man. That's what he went by. That's, like, the license plate on his van and everything, and he used to go around to the schools, and he would do, like, ceramic painting, so he would bring the entire class, like, these ceramics. So he would come in, like, the week before, and he'd have the 2 or 3 different ceramic choices, and he would write down what every kid in the class wanted, and then he would go and have them made, bring them in, and then he would supply all the paints and everything, and we would paint them all, send them back with him, he'd fire them, and then we'd get them back, like, the week after. So that was the thing, like, we did, but I never did, like, basket weaving. I noticed that bracelet too, Vanessa. It does look cool. It is very nice. It's like leather, and then it's got, just these strings and the Bob Marley, like, bead on it. And then just it's like an adjustable closure. Actually, it's an adjustable closure, very much similar to the one I have a tutorial on, actually. By the way, your comments are way backed up. I am aware. Yeah, I got explaining all my crafty things for the weekend and got behind, like, from the get-go. I just made a goal to start making my own collection of DMC floss skeins for bracelet making. Ooh, that's exciting. Leah, back to my toe conversation. The toes again. Okay. My big toe is infected. Like your toenail, I've had that happen before. I had an ingrown toenail. They're still kind of ingrown. It is painful. Hi, Meg. Nice haircut. Thank you. I just got it done today. During the lockdown and stuff, when all the salons were closed, I cut it myself. So you guys wouldn't have been able to tell. But the layer underneath here, I somehow managed to cut it shorter than the entire outer layer of my hair. So it's grown out enough now that we finally evened it all out. So it's like much shorter than I would really like. I don't want to say that I would really like it to be because I don't mind it, but I really want to grow my hair out. So it's going backwards from where it seemed like I was, but now it's even. So it'll grow in much nicer, other than where I had done the side cut. If you guys can see, that's starting to grow out, but we just hide that. Kevin, you sent me pictures. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Oh, someone else has sent me pictures too. Oh, you're doing some rainbow loom stuff. Cool. There's Kevin's rainbow loom bracelet. And I think this is the backside of that bracelet. Very cool. I only tried rainbow loom like once, and I just didn't really get into it. But I know they got like really big at one point. I remember our local craft store being like sold out of the looms and elastics and everything for like a long while. Oh my goodness. So many people sending me things. We've got, it looks like a seed bead necklace. I used to make these necklaces too. A long time ago though. I haven't made them in forever. I haven't done anything seed bead in a long time. I also like the Starbucks bracelet there too. Pause Art has sent some stuff. Ooh, that's coming along nicely. You had sent me the first part of this the other day. She's doing a starburst bracelet and made some very vibrantly green cupcakes, I imagine for St. Patrick's Day, which I totally forgot was yesterday until I went and picked my daughter up from daycare. And she was wearing this because the babysitter had got them for the kids. And I was like, you look like a retiree in Florida. And the babysitter laughed and she was like, it's St. Patrick's Day. And I was like, oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that's I expect what your cupcakes were for. I think we did the pine needle baskets during a unit where we learned about the natives in our region. We made miniature birch bark canoes. Northern CA, I assume that's Northern Canada or Northern California. We did birch bark canoes in our natives unit, and we did they used like brown paper bags, scrunched up little teepees as well. Is that you in your profile picture? I would assume so, but you look so different. That is me. That was taken last summer when my hair was blonde, but that is me, 100%. Would you not crochet collars for your floofs in the near future? I would like to, but I know my floofs won't wear them. I'm going to put this down because I need to do some calculations and figure out what I need to do because that has changed. So I might start this other blanket, but is that the alert tone from Kim Possible? Yes. Yes, it is. It indeed is. I normally turn it off because I'm not sure if I'm going to get copyright for that, but oh well. But that is, it's Kim Possible. I see a floof behind you. Oh, yep. I don't know if you're going to be able to really see her, but right there. She comes out the other one. Generally, I think I told you guys last time. I'm pretty sure her father was feral. So she kind of wants to see where you are because she likes you enough to want to know what's going on. But she'll like sit in the doorway of the room that you're hanging out in. And then if you go to walk towards her, she runs away. But then if you go to another room, after you've settled into that room, she will come running in and sit at the doorway and just watch you the entire time you're in there. But I don't expect, because they're not getting along, I don't expect we're going to see her come out into view anytime soon. It's a ring around, if you know what that is. It's basically a pocket of pus around my nail. Ew. Yuck. I sent pictures. Yes, I saw that. And then, sorry, I didn't go through all your pictures. You also have another drawing. Oh, that is really whitewashing that out. There we go. That gives a better idea of it. The white balance isn't way off. Very cute. Sent you a picture of the seed bead choker I made last night. It's my first pattern I learned for seed beads. Yeah, I used to make those when I was younger. My mom taught me. Kevin, your lower back is hurt as well. That's not good. Did you do something to it, or is it just from sitting in like an uncomfortable position? Either way, that sucks. Lower back pain is not fun. I swear it isn't me this time. You can also share my flower suitcase tag alpha. Oh, yes. Yes. Let me find you here. Let me find you. So this is also Pause Art. So this is her. I'm pretty sure you said it was your aunt, right? Her aunt wanted her to make like a luggage tag keychain. So on one side, it's like a lobster claw. On the other side is a keychain. So you can easily hook stuff to it. And that's how it turned out. I think it looks so good. And then let's see if I could still, do I still have the picture? It's not going to let me replay it. It doesn't look like. But on the end with the key ring, she's done like the double-ended key ring method. So there's like a little piece of knotted bracelet that folds down the other side. And then she was sewing it so that it from the front you can't see it. But I think it looks so good. My sister told me that the rainbow loom elastic thingies are toxic to your skin. It kind of makes sense, just so everyone can know. I mean, I think that probably depends on what you consider toxic. Like there's some people who think that anything that's plastic isn't good. And obviously it has a negative impact on the environment and stuff. But from like I don't want to say consumer standpoint, because I don't feel like that's the proper term. But I don't think they would actually be able to advertise something like that. Oh, here's the back of that picture. So you can see what I was talking about. So there's the piece that folds over to be sewn down. So that's the back of it. Looks very good. I don't think they would actually be able to sell them and advertise them towards children if they were actually at a level of toxicity that was harmful. You know what I mean? Sorry, California. And that's so cool. Did you guys carve the birch bark canoes? So that was the thing. We weren't given any instruction on how to do it. It was basically just because our school was in the middle of the woods. It was go into the woods and find some birch bark. And you're going to have to, here's a stencil. You're going to have to make this. Except for they didn't want us to take it off any living trees. And there's a whole bunch. Basically, what ended up happening for me is you don't need just like the papery outside. Is you actually need like that kind of fibrous, woody bark. So my mom actually like pilfered some out of the woods on her own and spoke to some of her coworkers who were actually like indigenous, and they were like, yeah, so like normally you take the birch bark and you like heat it, basically boil it to soften it, and then you would stitch it up with like sinew, and you would seal it with like sap and stuff. So my mom basically told me how to do it all. And I think I ended up, there was only like 3 of us in the class that were actually successful in doing it. So I don't think they did it again the next year, but it did end up pretty cool. And it did float. So that was fun. Have you tried kumahimo with beads before? I have not. And I've not tried crocheting like the beaded round cords either. Just realized that since Megan's comments are behind, she's reading the past and we are reading the future. LOL. Basically. Like, I don't think my comments are showing up behind. I am just behind on the comments. Talking about Leah's toe. Yes, that's gross. Hopefully it feels better soon. Thanks for sharing how to attach the gadgets at both ends of the bracelet keychain. Yeah, because I was totally thinking, and it would have been much more finicky to do it where it would be like, I was thinking, do I have like a piece of string here? This is plastic lace, but I was thinking like if you knotted down it like this way, then you got to the end, you could fold it like double and like thread this through your key ring and then knot around these two as a base string together. That would have been so much more finicky than what you did. So I think it turned out really well. Have you done kumihimo with beads? I want to learn that so bad. It looks very cool. It looks very similar to the crocheted bead like cords, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong. Rainbow looms make bracelets out of tiny rubber bands, right? Yes. The little teeny tiny brightly colored bands. I seriously struggled to figure out how to make it work. The keychain thing, because like I said, I would have done it different, and I don't know if it would have worked. Maybe that should be something I do in a Knotting Dangerously too. Rubber bands are terrible for people with hair on their arms. Yes. Yes, indeed. Or if you've ever had to use one, like an actual rubber band in your hair to like pull your hair back, yeah, terrible. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Do not recommend. That is not good. Not fun. I am going to send some updated pictures of my cats and a color page that I have done. All right, all right. Let's see, let's see. Oh, a few of you have messaged. Kevin responded, it's only toxic for the age 0 to 3. So it's low toxicity then, is basically what it is. It's low toxicity. And if you're old enough, it's not going to be a detriment to your person. Basically, Leah has sent some pictures of pets. Let's see. We got the doggo. Looks like a sleeping doggo. Looks like a sleeping kitty too. Or just woke up kitty. Oh my gosh. A slightly more awake kitty. Very cute. Oh my gosh. I think it's probably just the way the light is, but your cat looks like it has a very, very thin, long neck and then like a super floofy tail. I think it's just because the light's behind him, but it looks kind of funny. Very cute. And then this is Amanda's cat pretending not to pay attention to her. Just like, don't know you're there. What? Picture? No. Da, 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 da. All right. Thought if you had then a tutorial, please. Yeah, I haven't tried it before. I feel like you would fold, and then when you go to fold your string over, you would thread a bead on, fold it, thread a bead on, fold it. I think. In my mind, that's how it would work, but I've never actually done it. By the way, I was thinking to knot a pouch like the one you did, the Ukrainian one, a while ago. Do you have any tips? I mean, I haven't really gotten deep into pouch making. I've only done like one or two little things. There is, who was it? I don't think it was it Naughty Jewels? Naughty Jewels, I think on Instagram, if you use Instagram, she has some videos. I think, I thought she had a tutorial in here. Maybe it's someone else though. Yeah, so she has a tutorial in her actual Instagram account on how she makes pouches. And she does hers with like a little flap on them and everything. But I would basically just say, make sure you take your time on the seams and knot them really nicely, because that will kind of be like where you see, like you will see it otherwise. And if you want it to be nice and clean, definitely take your time there. The researchers found that while Rainbow Loom's own name brand products were safe, some charms made by knockoff brands contain high levels of phthalates, a class of carcinogenic chemicals. Oh, very interesting. So Rainbow Loom was safe, but it sounds like knockoffs are using subpar product. Interesting. Some of the knockoff charms are composed of as much as 50% phthalates. Wow. That's interesting. Like I said, I never really got into them, but I know for a while the craft stores were like sold out. And I remember a few times I had gone into Michael's at the time, and people were asking for them. And I remember all the workers there being like, we're still sold out. We're still sold out. We get a new shipment of them on this day. And I remember the shelves coming in like stocked full of them and then disappearing. No, she has a weird skinny neck and a really fluffy tail. Okay. Because that's what it looked like. And I was like, well, it looks like her chest is white, so maybe it's the way the light's coming through. That's funny. Naughty Jules and AKA AWOL. Yes. He does a lot of, if you're interested in more of, I think he does more bags than like folded type pouches. But I think he is probably also where, I think Naughty Jules says it at some point that she got some tips and stuff from him on how to do it. He is definitely the bag pouch master. So if you don't follow him, he has an Instagram and a YouTube channel. If you don't follow him, definitely get on it if that's the path you're wanting to get down. I've done a kumihimo with beads before, and that's how I did it. Yeah, that's, I think, the only way you would be able to do it. It would be too much of a pain to like thread all your beads on at once and then do it. So yeah. I don't have Insta though, but they are so nice, and thanks. Yeah, definitely. If you don't have Insta, check out AKA AWOL here on YouTube. Like it's literally like AKA AWOL. And he's got all kinds of videos on how he's made his pouches and bags and stuff and how to do like the bottom on them and everything. He is like the bag guru when it comes to knotting. Oh, you have seen his videos before, but you haven't been able to find one where he actually shows what he does and how to do the pattern / knots. So you knot it the same way you do a normal bracelet. The only difference is that, hold on a second. I will show you because I still have the one that I started and never finished. It's right over here. Oh no. Okay. So excuse it, it's kind of in a bit of a mess. But basically, right? So you pick a pattern. So my pattern, for instance, literally was like this. That was the pattern I picked. I've actually, I think, made other bracelets that you guys have seen in my collections and stuff of this pattern. A chevron with the diamonds in it. And then you just connect it. I think Masha actually has a video on doubling, but essentially you just do like a backwards forwards knot when you reach the sides. So backwards forwards knot, then do this row, backwards forwards knot, then do, you know what I mean? So then, like for instance here, this is covered in cat hair, but for instance here, I worked this flat and I'm going to bring this basically down to a point before I connect because it's going to be easier to work it flat instead of in the round. But then once I get to the point where these outer strings have to be knotted, at that point, when you do your connect, just like you do with all these other ones, you're going to take your outermost edges and you're going to knot these together. And then you'll start working essentially in the round. And then you do the bottom. And he does have, I think, multiple videos now on how he does the bottoms. So yeah, that is how you would do it. So basically just set up like 2 loops like you would 2 different bracelets. And then before you do any part of your row, you knot like these 2 outermost strings together, and that attaches them. And then you do this line and this line. And then on this side, before you start this purple one, you connect it into the next one. And then you just, at the start of each row, you do a knot connecting those 2 rows together. And then you do it. And that puts it all together. And then, yeah, like I said, once you've knotted it, I would knot it as flat as possible for as long as possible. And then when you are at the point where you can't knot flat anymore without joining those outer edges, you would do the exact same thing that you've been doing. You would just fold the ends together and then knot these 2 outermost together. So hopefully that made sense. I'll put that over there for now. But yeah, so you would basically, you could pick whatever pattern you want. And then when it comes to the base, there's a number of ways you can do it. But yeah. Oh, never mind. You get it. Thank you. Perfect. I'm glad that made sense. Did you use like a whole skein for just one color on the pouch you were working on? For that, I actually used yarn. I didn't use embroidery floss, and I did not use a full ball of yarn for that. No. Not even close. Not even close. Ooh, Andrea, current projects. Oh, that had so many fluffs and cat hairs on it. It's like, I can feel it. I have like, not lip gloss on, but I have like Vaseline lip therapy, like lip chap, and it's, things stick to it. And I can just feel it sticking to my lips. Andrea looks like she is making some, I was going to say reusable grocery bags. Very, very cute. Hopefully you guys can see that. She's got it like folded right now. So I don't know if you guys will be able to tell. She's got the base. You can kind of make it out here. Fold it up right now. What is this next one? Oh, this is like a pen pal stationery holder, it looks like. That opens up and you can keep your envelopes and stuff in it. And you're making stickers. Are you using a Cricut for your stickers? Very cool, Andrea. Thank you for sharing. You always make such interesting stuff. Oh, yes. You also sent me pictures before of doing like the spin art and stuff. Andrea's out here just living our best life, crafting all the things. She did string art too. I've never done like the string art, not like obviously making bracelets is technically like string art, but like the string art with the nails and the boards and stuff. I've never actually tried that. Colored paper on regular packing tape and parchment paper. Oh, okay. So you use that. I've seen that method before. I've never tried it. Very cool though. And remember to turn them inside out before you connect the sides of your pouch bag to the bottom. Yeah. So you want to make sure when you do get to the point, you've worked in the round as long as you want and you're doing the bottom, that you have to turn it inside out, because at that point you're going to be creating essentially seams and you don't want them to be seen on the outside of your bag. So that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. I definitely did not mention that. Kevin says he sent another picture. Give me 1 second. Let me get to my messages. Oh, cool. This is a rainbow loom. A rainbow loom? What is rainbow loom? A rainbow loom with some beads in it. Very cute. I like the colors. I do like all the really, really bright, like neon colors in the rainbow loom projects. I just never got into them. I don't know why, because they were, like I said, they were so popular. I don't know if it was everywhere, if it was like just in my town, but they got so popular, like ridiculously popular. And I never got into it. But I remember my ex's younger sister and their step siblings, because they were younger, being super into them. Like I remember going over to their house and the table was covered in like just boxes of these elastic bands and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I never got into it. I mean, it might have something to do with the only time I tried, I used like a little cheap loom from like the dollar store. So that may be why. I was definitely using the looms that were probably toxic because it was just from the dollar store. But yeah, I just didn't see the appeal for like, it didn't feel like something I wanted to do long term. You know what I mean? Imagine not having time to craft. Couldn't be me. Honestly, though, I find it's definitely something I like to have in my life, but it kind of killed me in college when I didn't have a ton of time. Didn't have a ton of time to do it. So definitely killed me a little bit. I wish I could say I'm crafting right now, but my back is killing me from all the crafting I've been doing this week. I get the same because I generally find I'm like hunching over. So a lot of the time, like I don't generally craft here. I craft here for like videos or even parts of videos. But anything where I'm like, and you repeat that for until you reach the length that you want, you can bet your bottom dollar I am not finishing that project at this table. I generally sit on the couch and I like lean back into the couch and put my knees up so that I feel like that helps my lower back a bit. But yeah. Rainbow Loom was so popular in 2012 to 1017. I assume that's 2017. That's just funny. Going back in time. Yeah. Okay. So it was like everywhere. It was really, really popular. Um, how long have I been crafting? My entire life. Not really appreciating your username, not gonna lie. I still have some of the looms I had back in 2015 when I was like 9. Really? Yeah, I never got into them. Just give me 1 second here, guys. We're just gonna remove that person from the chat because I don't appreciate their username. I'm knotting a bracelet now using the ancient two-tone alpha method. Okay, I know it's the classic two-tone method now, but it was funny while it lasted. Oh my god. I laughed so hard when I read that comment. You don't even know. It was like what I said in that video where I was like, I laughed and then was like, like it was literally like that moment where I was like, oh my gosh, that's funny. But then at the same time, I was like, oh, like I'm over here. Like I learned how to make alphas two-tone from a text perspective. Like the pattern was written in text. So, yikes. I reported them way too inappropriate. Yeah. Comments weren't super inappropriate, but yeah, username definitely is. So I have just deleted their messages and blocked their messages from the chat. So hopefully we won't be seeing them again. I don't know whether I should. Part of me wants to start the other blanket, but part of me doesn't want to start it until I'm done this one. Because I feel like if I start it, I'm not going to want to put it down, but then I still have this one to do. Maybe I shouldn't start it. I want to though. Someone who does friendship bracelets now starts making loom bracelets, and now she does friends. I assume you're talking about perhaps one of your friends, Kevin. But I know a few people who were like that. And I know my mom made a point when I had said that I don't get it. And she was like, well, not everyone has the skill set to be able to make the bracelets that you do. And I was like, fair. But also, are they trying? I can't even understand text patterns for bracelets. Yeah, that's how I learned. So when I read like ancient two-tone method, I was like, ha 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 ha, if that's what kids are calling it these days. And then I was like, wait, am I old? Like that was like, it was like, ha ha. I was like, hey, like, ooh, okay. I'm making a chevron and I don't even know why. Bro, for real, I hate chevrons. I feel like they take forever while the other harder ones are faster. No, chevrons are like my favorite. They are my go-to. I've got this one here. I've got one on each ankle. They are my go-to. Go-to. Pause Gaming, you sent oh, she has a YouTube channel. Are you talking about I know Claire started as a rainbow loom a rainbow loomer and then moved to bracelets. I don't think she has a YouTube channel though. But I think like I know there's a few people who have. But that's why Claire's Instagram is actually Claire wears spam because she had a relatively popular rainbow loom account that was like her main account, and then she used the other account, labeled it spam because it was her other bracelets and stuff, which I think is kind of funny because now I think she's massive in the bracelet community. Don't start the new pattern until you finish the one you're almost done with. Otherwise, you'll be stuck with a work in progress for really long. Exactly. That is kind of the way I'm thinking. Like I want to do something right now with my hands. So I'm like, well, do I start it and just put it down after the live stream? I don't know. Because otherwise I'm going to be starting something else. And I'm like, I don't really want to start something else. We have an update on that pattern I showed you guys earlier. Actually being nodded. Is this a Funko Pop? What's her name from Wreck-It Ralph? That's the pattern. I can't remember her name right now. Oh my gosh. That looks like a Funko Pop. The little girl from Wreck-It Ralph. Why can't I read Vanellope? Vanellope. Right? Right? Ooh, this is I don't know if you guys remember, was it last live stream or was live stream before that? I had showed a really big pattern that someone had suggested that was like half butterfly and then half of it was flowers. This is the start of that pattern. It's huge. That's going to look so good. I want to try that pattern at some point. I got too many things on the go right now though. What was the pattern, or what pattern was the giant pouch you showed earlier? I should totally start one when I get back into bracelet making. I think I have a picture posted on my bracelet book. Let me see. Because I think I've done it as the actual bracelet at some point too. Yeah. It's pattern 25853 on bracelet book. And it looks like, you know, one. And I've 10-trupled it. I don't know. Once you get that high, I don't know what it's called, but. That is who you were talking about, Kevin. It's Claire, and she does have a YouTube channel because you follow the voices and stuff on her channel. Okay, I didn't realize that. I knew she had a rainbow. I thought she had a rainbow loom channel, but does she have like a friendship bracelet one? I don't think she does. Yeah, I agree. I never start two of the same craft projects at a time. If I want to start something new, I do it in a different craft category. Only exception is if I have a huge alpha, then sometimes I do a small one. Yeah, I just don't really want to start something completely new because I feel like if I start something else new, I don't really feel like doing another craft right now. So if I start something new, I feel like I'm going to start it. I'm never going to come back to it. Whereas if I start that, I know eventually I'll come back to it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I'll leave it for now. Claire has a rainbow loom channel that I followed when I was 10. I was shocked to realize she was also a queen at bracelet making when I switched hobbies. Yeah, she is. I didn't realize that she was in rainbow loom to begin with. And then she had mentioned it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Because her bracelets are like God tier. Like her bracelets look so clean and so good. I might go to sleep soon. I haven't slept good all week. That's okay, Leah. Hopefully, now that it's the weekend, generally I find I sleep better on the weekend because there's like less stress. I'm not worried about waking up on time. I'm not worried about all the work stuff going on. So hopefully, you get good sleep. If you need to go sleep, absolutely. I completely understand. Hopefully, if you do head her to bed, then hopefully you have a good weekend. Vanellope. It is Vanellope. Yes. Claire makes beautiful bracelets. I bought one from her and it's perfect. I don't even dare to wear it. It's like in a treasure box somewhere to be taken out and admired occasionally. Yeah, I was going to do a video once where I bought from like a few different small businesses and just like kind of reviewed it and hyped them up or whatever. So I was going to do a couple bracelet ones and a couple just random different ones. But when I had gone to look, because I was going to buy from Claire and Alex, and when I had gone to look, I think I just hit it at the wrong time, and both of their stores were like empty. So I didn't end up doing it, but maybe one day I'll try it again. It is. I was going to say her name was Vanilla Bean. I mean, Vanilla Bean. I mean, it's close. It's close. Vanilla P Von Schweetz. And yes, it's a sticker on my new clipboard. My boyfriend broke the last one. Yes, Vanilla P Von Schweetz. That's right. That is right. I haven't watched those movies in a long time. And your boyfriend broke your last clipboard? I have never successfully knotted with a clipboard. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how people do it. Like, especially because most of the clipboards I find these days aren't the actual full metal clamp. They're like a wire thing, and I'm like, so all I'm doing is tying my loop around the wire clamp. I might as well use a safety pin. What's the point in carrying the whole board? The safety pin is more mobile, transportable. I don't know. But and then I find I pull way too tight to use just the regular like full metal clamps. I pull it right out from underneath. So the butterfly is going pretty fast. Once I get knotting, it just takes me 45 minutes to go from one side to the other. Hashtag slow knotter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a big pattern though. To be fair, I think my Slytherin one, I want to say it takes me like 20 minutes to go from one side to the other side. Maybe a little more than that, depending on how many color changes and stuff are in that row, obviously. But that's a big pattern though. Wait, what's the pattern number? For which? For the one that I showed or for that butterfly flower pattern? I bought my clipboard from Staples. It's good. Yeah, I just get a flat clip on whatever board I can clip it on. Fair enough. Fair enough. I normally use a clipboard to make my bracelets. Wow, a lot of you guys use clipboards, hey? Good night, friends. I hope you all have a good time. Good night, Leah. I hope you have a really good weekend. Get some good sleep. Hopefully your toe feels better. And hopefully we'll catch you next time. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. I put a piece of foam on my clipboard. It helps with being a bit grippy. The one I just showed. And good night, Leah. Okay. You mean like under, like, I assume when you said that, I'm picturing like craft foam, like the colored like sheets of foam. Is that what you're talking about? I guess I could see how that can make it a little more grippy. Kevin, you think both her bracelets are awesome, the rainbow loom and the knotting? I've never seen her rainbow loom stuff. I know from what I understand, her channel got like decently big, but I obviously have seen her knotted work. Like I love, love, love her knotted work. The one I just showed, the one that's like in my brace or pouch that I showed you guys, that's pattern 25853 on Bracelet Book. 25853. Yes, craft foam. Oh, I mean, is it glued onto the board? Because I feel like it would just fall out. Because I literally pull so hard. I bought a clipboard to try and I still haven't tried it. But the last time I did try, I pull so hard that the whole bracelet comes out from under the clip. So I'm not, like, I can see the foam helping a little bit, but I'm not sure how much it would help. I will send a picture of how I knot. I tape the project to a cutting mat that sits on my desk. Not the best for my neck or back, but I try to stand up every once in a while. I don't know if you guys remember when I first started this channel, I used to tape down to like to a book or a placemat, and it would slide all over the place and everything else. Definitely was not ideal. Kevin uses a clipboard too. To start to use tape and then uses a clipboard. Wow, I didn't realize so many people used clipboards. Like I know, like obviously I know people use clipboards, but I didn't realize just how many people. Guys, here is the knotted progress on that fish pattern from earlier. Is this gonna turn? No. Okay. Cool. Cool phone. Look at that. Oh, I love the colors. It looks so good. And your knotting looks so crisp. I love it. I feel like I want to make sure I'm not missing any. Spam, go away. Okay, cool. Oh, where was I? Thanks for the pattern. You're welcome. The pattern clip, the pattern clip. The clip holds it down. It's actually dented in. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I can kind of see that because it's like squishy, so it would actually press the string like down in a little bit, so it would be harder to pull out. That makes sense. That makes sense. But with a clipboard, I don't need tape. I can use the hole in the top of the faux clip to keep a safety pin and then tie new strings onto, which I later cut off. Yeah, see, but that's what I mean. Like to me, I only started using tape after I made my YouTube channel. I never had really good luck with tape before. I was definitely safety pin. And what I don't understand is because like what it sounds like you're kind of insinuating here is that it would be the same as using a safety pin. And then I just don't understand what makes the clipboard better because I used to knot with a safety pin and then I would anchor my new strings. I would tie them onto the other side of the safety pin and then pull down and just anchor that way. No tape at all, just a safety pin. And then if there was an excess amount of strings, I would use a second safety pin and knot all the new strings to anchor them onto that safety pin. And then I would just like cut them off. I'm having lots of troubles with the flat alpha, and I think I'm knotting too tight, and the last color always peeks through. I don't personally knot with the flat alpha technique super often. I've kind of given up on it because you do definitely have to be a looser knotter for it to look as clean as possible. If you are a tight knotter like myself, it doesn't look quite as good. Like you can get good results, but you really got to work for it, I find. So I find it's easier to work on the regular color changes to get them to look clean than it is to try and work the flat alpha. But yeah, if you're really set on doing the flat alpha, loosen your knotting. If you're a tight knotter, loosen your knotting for sure. A lot of people have really good success with it, but that is, yeah, if you are a tight knotter, I decided to give it up because I was like, well, my regular color changes are pretty clean as it is. And I'm going on almost 20 years of knotting. I'm not going to change my tension now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't do a lot of it, but I do know that that seems to be the key. Team clipboard here. Wow. Like all of you. That's crazy. Well, how can they make a fish alpha? I can barely make a 2-color alpha. Practice, practice, practice. That's all I can say. The clip with a board is just more portable while also keeping steady enough to keep things straight. Okay, fair enough. I tried filming my bracelet making, but my clipboard moves so much. And the only reason I have a safety pin is to untie knots. The actual clip holds my bracelet in place. Make your master to be able to knot with just a safety pin to hold the strings. No. Like, maybe that's like old school of me, but like when I started, that was like the only way I knew how to start it. So that's just what I did. If you're knotting for filming, tape on a table surface is really the most steady. It definitely is. The other thing you could try is getting, the inserts that you can get in drawers and stuff, particularly for campers and things that are kind of grippy, that are meant to like hold your dishes in place and stuff. You could lay one of those underneath and that would grip your book enough that it doesn't really move. Or you could get, you could also use like the little rubber foot tabs that you stick on the bottoms of things so that they don't like scrape against things. You could also use those, and the little grippies in each corner would help you. But definitely I found the steadiest and easiest is to just tape to a tabletop. Hi, what's your advice to get out of slumps? I'm in one and I bought all these things and now I don't know if I'll use them again. For me, I do have a video on motivation. So like it depends on the level of lack of motivation you're really at. Sometimes just sitting down and starting it is all it takes. And then once you get started and you've gotten past that first point, you're okay and you start to enjoy it. Like I think in that video I used an example of one of my art classes where we had a project where the teacher was like, pick a color that's going to be dominant in your picture and just paint your entire canvas that color, with the idea being that once you've got something down, it becomes easier to do the rest because something's already there. It's not a where do I start? So sometimes just starting, sometimes trying to do it somewhere else. Like I don't know what craft you're doing, if it's bracelets or what it is, trying to move location, or sometimes trying a new craft. Maybe just let it sit for a while. If you really enjoyed it, you'll probably come back to it. Sometimes I just leave things. Like right now, I haven't knotted in a really long time. I've been doing a lot of knitting and a lot of crocheting lately. I did do some Rex lace stuff, but lately I've been really, really feeling knitting and crocheting. So I haven't actually knotted in a little while simply because I don't really feel like it. So sometimes, depending on where you're at, just push past that point and then you'll get better. Maybe find a pattern that really sparks some joy that you really want to do. Otherwise, maybe just give it a break. Try a different craft or something. Sorry, I could see these like cat hairs from holding up these projects. They're still flying around. Yeah, that would be my recommendation for sure, is just to, yeah, definitely either, like, I don't know where you are in your slump, but those would be my suggestions. And I think I did like 10 suggestions maybe in that video. So if you want some other suggestions, definitely maybe check that out. It'll give you some ideas at the very least. Just keep at it. I started knotting years ago, but started practicing alphas 9 months ago, and each one I made improved. I also recommend the tutorials about straight edges technique. Yeah, definitely. When it comes back to the alpha and the two-tone versus the fish, definitely, yeah, just keep practicing. How do you use normal, not flat alpha color changes without ending up with holes in the pattern? You always have to lock your string in. Always. Do not follow those knotting charts. Like, just use the graph. Always, always lock your colors in. I've got, do I have an alpha in here? I am like, the kitchen table is basically surrounded by all of my things. There is an alpha in here. There's a couple alphas in here. Okay. So like this one, you can kind of see. So every time you do a color change, you really, really want to make sure that you wrap the other color around it, right? So if you guys have ever actually sat and watched one of my alpha tutorials and I do a normal color change in it, you'll know that I always talk about you push your first color back and your new one has to come in underneath that string and that locks it in. If you don't do that, you will end up with holes. So this is the frog bracelet too, and you can see that same like where that's happening right on the edges here. These little red bumps going over the green, that is locking that green in place. Otherwise, there would be a hole between this green and the red color change. So to avoid that, yeah, you just lock it in. This one, there's a lot of strings going across the back, so I feel like you can really only see it on the edges. But all of those little loops that look vertical as opposed to these knots, that's all me locking in the color changes. And that's very important that you make like a string sandwich and then it ends up you don't have holes. So I do plan to do, because I do want to continue my alpha guidebook series, I do plan to do a video all about mastering the regular color change technique, because I feel like so many people are leaning towards the flat alpha color technique because they think that's the only way to make a clean looking alpha, but I feel like this kind of speaks for itself. If I do say so myself, maybe a little biased because it's mine, but yeah, I think it's possible. It's just people don't know how. Same as, honestly, same as this. This was done regular color changes as well, and you can see on the back all those little loops. That's locking in all those color changes. Every single color change you can see here, here, here. That's just locking it in. And that fills in your holes. If you're not doing that, and some of those knotting graphs do not show the strings carrying, and then you'll end up with holes in them. So I use the flat alpha and I knot tightly. It just takes a little practice and moving the strings and pulling on them. It is a lot of finicking. I have made it work before, but it's just more effort than it's worth in my opinion, but I've also spent a very long time mastering the regular color change. So I am well aware. I think people get quicker, clean results with the flat alpha technique than the regular color technique. I will fully admit that. But I think you can get a beautiful, clean product from both color techniques. So if you're really struggling with it, maybe just try the regular color technique. I always suggest it. I think everyone should try a bunch of different techniques, and you may find that the regular color technique works better for you. It looks like we're talking about tape here. I feel like I've missed a comment somewhere. I feel like someone's talking about the tape coming out. You do have to use a lot of tape. And I do find if you are using tape, putting your first strip of tape actually upside down. So just curl the edges under and have sticky side up. Put your strings on that and then tape across that and then do a couple more pieces of tape. And that helps a lot. I find if I don't do the one piece sticky side up, my strings pull out really, really easy. Amanda says, Amanda to Amanda, like minimally an H shape, one across the bracelet and two on the side to hold the horizontal tape down. Yeah. I sent a picture. The clipboard is not with me at the moment, so I had to hunt for an old picture. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Oh my gosh. There's a few of you that have sent pictures. Okay. Okay. I can see what you're talking about. I can see where the bracelet, you guys probably won't be able to see this, but there's like a depression mark here where the bracelet was being knotted because she's got the entire thing covered with craft foam. That makes sense. I never thought about that, but it makes sense. Also, that bracelet is really cute. I've seen that little dinosaur bracelet before. Fair enough. That makes sense. Or go follow Masha Knots. Yeah, Masha has, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, Kevin. I didn't realize when your actual message came up. So I'm not 100% sure which part of the conversation it was in context to. But Masha does have a lot of great videos, especially addressing, obviously, the flat alpha technique and straight edges and stuff. Obviously, I think Masha is the biggest bracelet YouTuber in the community. So she's definitely got a lot of good content there. A lot, a lot, a lot. Non-slip mats. Why didn't I think of them? Yeah, I think honestly, it's easier to tape down onto a flat tabletop. If it's textured, not going to work super well. But if that's the only option you have, a non-slip mat, yeah, or those little sticky feet. Amanda Faith, that's basically the reason for the flat alpha technique. If you don't use it, the holes are inevitable. You're entitled to your opinion. I gave up on the bracelet I just sent you to Instagram because it was way too wonky. Way too wonky. Who said that? Tam. Oh, on this Halloween one? What's so... it's starting to bow a little bit, but it's not super wonky. Nah, that's salvageable, friend. That's salvageable. I would suggest, if you wanted to, obviously, you've probably abandoned this a little while ago now, but if you wanted to, minimize that bowing a little bit. Knot your outer couple of knots a little bit looser than the rest of your row. Not a ton looser, just a little bit. And over the course of a couple of rows, that will bring that bowing down a little bit, make it a little more straight. But otherwise, it doesn't look too wonky. Are you using a different string for the ghost? Because it looks like... it looks like your bowing kind of starts like right before the ghost. Or maybe right after the pumpkin. Did you use a different type of string in there? But honestly, it doesn't look bad. I would just, like I said, knot the outermost couple knots a little bit looser and over a couple of rows. It may not make it perfectly straight again, but it will definitely even it out a little bit. I saw that video. Thank you. I love your YouTube channel. Oh, awesome. I'm pretty sure you're talking about the motivation video. Yeah, those would be my main suggestions. Like I said, I don't know how in a slump you are, but definitely sometimes you just got to give it a break. And if you really enjoyed the craft, you will come back to it. It may not feel like it sometimes, and it may be a long while, but generally you'll come back to it. I just sewed my suitcase tag. The back looks really clean. There's just a small bump where I tucked the base strings. Oh, that's awesome. It looks really, really good. Like, it looks really crisp and straight. Very, very nice. I'm kind of intrigued to try my idea to see if that would work too. Like, now I'm just curious. On finding motivation to knot, sometimes it helps to knot for someone else who means something to you, like for their birthday or some other, some other special occasion. Sometimes putting a deadline on yourself, like a birthday or a holiday or something, will sometimes make you work towards it more, for sure. What you making? Right now, I am not making anything. I had started into working on my blanket again. Oh my goodness. But I've reached a point where I'm going to have to do some calculations because the pattern, this big diamond here, the pattern is supposed to have 2 more big diamonds like this, like 2 more rows like this. And then go back into like this on the other side and finish out with this on the other side. So it's like symmetrical. However, the point of doing this blanket was to use up wool I already had. And I don't think I have enough. Like, I definitely don't have enough to do 2 more big rows like this. And now they had like different motifs in them, but 2 more big diamond rows. And I didn't want to go out and buy more wool because the yarn that I used comes in like the really big balls. It's like Red Heart or Bernat or whatever. And the whole point was to use up string. So if I go out and buy another big ball, I don't think I will use the whole thing, and then I'll still end up with a bunch of string. So I cut out the 2 rows, but that means I'm kind of Frankensteining the pattern, and I have reached a point where my outer diamonds don't quite line up with my inner zigzag here doesn't quite line up with my slightly inner ones. So at this point here, I've got to figure out what I want to do to make that work, if that makes sense. So I've put this down because I'm going to need to put some brain thought into that, and I'm not going to be able to monitor the chat. But that was what I was working on. And then I was debating on starting another blanket that I have set aside here. Our lighting just got like really pink. Like, I know my grow lights are on, but yeah. So that is what I was working on. There's like the full motif. So I'm going to do on the other side, it'll be this and this. Then we got these diamonds, and it's basically mirroring. So now I'm going into a section of this, go back out into this, and then do a border around it. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I should do a vlog. That would be so fun to watch, like a day in the life or something. Honestly, probably wouldn't be that entertaining. I mean, work could be interesting, but I'd have to get permission from work to film a little bit at work, and I don't know if I would get that. So a normal day probably wouldn't be fun. I've thought about doing a kind of more vloggy style finishing projects video where I just pick up things and work on them. I've also thought of doing more of a like podcast style video, and I kind of talked about this before, but the idea has expanded a bit because I've been watching the Crimson Stitchery, and she does podcast videos. Like, I don't think it's actually on any podcast platform, but she does these videos where she basically has segments of, this is what I've completed, or she has like a topic, this is what I want to talk about, this is what I've worked on and completed, these are my work in progress, and you know, she's got a couple other things. So I'm like, I could do something similar to that where I show you guys like the main project I've worked on, maybe talk about a topic, talk about the books and shows I've been watching while I was crafting, and show you guys like my work in progresses. And it would just be kind of a longer form video. And I know some people like kind of those casual chatty videos to craft along to. I like to have things on in the background. So I've thought about that, but I honestly don't do enough for like a vlog. My life isn't that exciting, okay? Oh wow, the locking in method. Didn't pick up on that even though I watched all your videos. Haha, that's a good to know. Sorry, Amanda Faith, I was wrong. Yeah, you have to make sure you lock it in and then you don't get those holes. Otherwise, whole city. Whole city, don't do it. I've never made a bracelet without the flat alpha color change. I feel like you're not alone on that anymore. I feel like a lot of people jump into alphas with the flat alpha color change. So definitely give it a try. I have those locking loops on mine too. I didn't really make any alphas before I learned the flat alpha. Yeah, you will see them a little bit, I think, on the flat alphas. They just won't come up quite as much, I don't think. Oh my gosh, I am behind and things are jumping around. When I first started, I jumped right into flat alpha and straight edge. Now it's just a habit. Yeah, and that would be what a lot of people have done, I think, now. I need to try the regular color switching technique. I've only used the clean back alpha technique and classic two-tone alpha technique so far. Fair enough. I've only ever played with the clean back technique like that one time. It was a knotting dangerously, I think. I feel like if you could pull off a clean back alpha, you can do anything. I have yet to try a clean back. Quite possible. I mean, yeah, if you're pulling off the clean back and flat alpha, I feel like you may as well stick with it. I've done 2 rows on a 63 string alpha. This could be a mistake. Keep at it, friend. Keep at it. I don't have really any mid-size patterns that I've done this year, but yeah, keep at it. You'll get it. At the start, it seems kind of daunting, but then once you get into it and get into a flow, Yeah. So you do not talk about the imminent war the Western men are about to face here. We did last live stream, actually. We talked about it a little bit towards the end of the stream. The purpose of this stream is to relax and calm down from the week and de-stress. So although it is extremely important to talk about, and obviously there's a lot of people suffering, this is a space so that people around the globe can craft and share a passion that makes people feel safe and welcome. So that's not a topic we're going to broach here right now. I do appreciate it and I do recognize it. And I absolutely am heartbroken over what's going on over there and the lack of assistance that the world seems to be giving. But it's not a topic that we're going to cover in depth here. Can't say I consistently do the clean back well. It was the first alpha technique I learned. The clean back was your first alpha technique that you learned? That is crazy. I would not have jumped into alphas, I don't think, with a clean back. Like now, I feel like if I had learned, probably would have been flat alpha immediately, just because I feel like the most popular tutorials and stuff are Masha's. So I feel like that's probably where I would have jumped in. But I learned way before that. So yeah, I definitely do classic, and regular color change. Every string is loops and threads craft cord. And yes, I have had that bracelet for a while. I have never used the loops and threads craft cord. I did use craft cord from a different brand, and I did notice that the actual string itself was inconsistent. Like there were areas of it that were slightly thicker than others. So it may actually be your craft cord. Like if you run your finger down a length of it, do you feel any differences in that thickness? Because that could do it. But definitely, I would suggest, like I said, knotting a little bit looser on the outer edges, and that will make that bowing effect a little less prominent. Not super loose because then it'll look weird, but just a little bit, and that'll help you with that bowing effect. Your blanket is looking so good, by the way. Thank you. I'm very, very happy with it. I just have to figure out, like, I really want to work on it. And I'm going to be so heartbroken to give this away, but at the same time, I know my friend will appreciate it. And then I'll just have to make myself another one. But I am really happy with it. Oh, you're doing pattern 19649. Let's see. Someone else has sent me some pictures. Oh, this is a closer look at that dinosaur bracelet that was on Andrea's keyboard. There is the front. And there's the back. She did the classic ancient duotone method. And then the gray cloud using the clean back alpha. Fair enough. Very cute. Oh, Kevin, for your back pain, it's hurt because your left hip is up from your right hip. Fair enough. That would do it. I have a lot of joint issues, and I know like it's a domino effect. So I have a lot of issues in my knees and my wrists actually. But as soon as I get my knee starting to hurt, I find that subconsciously I start to try and like baby it, and then I get the hip, and then yeah, the whole back is just a mess. Sorry, I was looking for a pattern, wasn't I? One 9649. Ooh, I actually have, that is very cute. I actually have a pattern, not the exact same, but kind of similar, a little more simplified, actually saved, as someone had posted on Instagram from like VK, I think. Very cute. Loving the blanket. Thank you. That blanket looks awesome. I totally want to try that style. I think I dropped the ladies YouTube channel where I learned, and it's her pattern. It's Tina, Tinna. It's, will it show up for me? It's not going to populate for me. Yeah, it's she's here on YouTube. If you search Mosaic Crochet, she's probably going to be like the first one that shows up. Oh my gosh, I just untied 5 knots because I made a mistake. I needed to add another black knot before color change and got distracted and made the same mistake. Now I need to undo the exact same knots. I have done that before. I have done that before and it sucks. I sent you a message. Yes, I think I have read that message now, Kevin. Yes, Spirited Away. I haven't watched that in so long. I highly encourage the long form. These fluffs, man. I shouldn't have brought out those old projects. I'm getting fluffs everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay. So true with the larger alphas. It can be intimidating. My butterfly alpha I'm making is 116 strings wide. I think, I could be wrong. I think that's roughly how big my Slytherin pattern is. I recently did 117756 on Bracelet book. One, 7756 on Bracelet book. Ooh, The Fault in Our Stars. Very cute. Oh my gosh. I brought out those old projects. Now I have a fluff in my eye. I can feel it. I'm sorry if this is going to bug some people that I'm like sticking my finger in my eyeball, but the least of the world's problems, as someone so kindly pointed out. Very cute little wall hanging. 5. It took forever. It took 5 ever. That's awesome. Alas, I must take a break in order to get some dinner. Tuna melts. Hope y'all are still here when I'm done. But either way, thanks for a super sweet hang and hope y'all are having a great weekend. You as well. I'm not sure how long we're going to keep going. We're almost nearing 2 hours here now. So I may drop out here soon. I think we may go to 2 hours and then probably call it because I would like to eat some dinner as well. And I would like to work on my blanket. So, you know. It just clued into me. I read your comment and I just kind of skimmed by it when you were like, I like the long form. I just clued in that you were talking about my like video idea with the chat and the blanket and like the project and the books and stuff that like just clued into me. How's my cookie dough? It's probably good. I haven't had a bite of it in a while though, so we'll just so good. And before anyone freaks out, I heat treated the flour, so it's like safe. I eat it raw anyways, even if it's not heat treated, but living life on the edge. I don't know. So good. But yeah. I think that's my plan. I'm like surveying the table. I'm seeing all of my projects and I'm like, wow, I think I've determined that I can do a lot more in a weekend than I can actually do. I've got the blanket I just showed you guys, this one. I've got the stuff for that other blanket. I've got Rex lace up here. I've got Knotting Dangerously thing. I've got the cards and spindle up here. I got way too many crafts on the go. That's okay though. I work in a grocery store and we had St. Patty's Day stuff and they had Lucky Charm cookie dough. I was going to get some when I left today, but we were sold out. Lucky Charm cookie dough? Was that Was it like the Pillsbury cookie dough, like the pre-cut slices or in the tube that you cut? Or interesting. I don't think I've seen that at our grocery stores. Then again, I generally don't often do the pre-bought. Every now and then when I get a hankering for cookie dough, though, I will sometimes buy the Pillsbury ones. You know, the ones, the sugar cookies with a picture in them. I definitely get those and just eat them raw. My coworkers make fun of me because I will literally bring the the little box and pull out the little tray and just eat the little raw cookies. Just so good. It was the break apart ones. Oh, or she. Interesting, interesting. It's better to have too many crafts than not enough. Fair enough. True that. I really want to make an amigurumi this week, but I feel knotting, it's a lot better for my hands pain. Yeah. I tell you what. If you really want to do the amigurumi, you're not going to help anything by doing the knotting. You're still going to hurt your hands just in more ways. I would, if you're able to do it, because I struggle with it, if you're able to do it, I would suggest putting down all of your handcrafts and maybe try something else for a little bit and give your hands a break. But yeah, I've definitely, because I went to the point where I was doing a crochet project once and it had a deadline on it and someone had paid me to complete it. And it was like the last night and I had a lot more. I had underestimated the amount that was left in the project because I was looking at it and I was like, so I was making, I don't know if you guys remember what a Snuggie is. I don't even know if they're still around, but they were essentially a blanket with sleeves in it. And so I had made one once upon a time for my now ex. He still has it. And when I made it, everyone in his family called it the magic blanket because they would steal it. And whenever they weren't feeling good, they would use it on the couch. And they're like, it just makes you feel better. It's nice and heavy. It's warm. It's toasty. You can use your arms. And so I have made 3 of them. And all 3 of them have gone to them. So his mom paid me to make one for her boyfriend at the time. And it was like the day before his birthday. And I was like, oh, I only have 1 sleeve left. And completely underestimated how long that actually takes. And my hand started like really badly cramping. And I just worked through it and literally did so much damage. Like I can't even express. I could not crochet for more than like 10, 15 minutes at a time for like the better part of a year after that. So be very, very careful when you reach hand pain to not just keep working through it. You're better to just set it all down for a little while and come back to it like the next day, as hard as that is. But yeah. At Christmas time, we get gingerbread Pillsbury and we get sugar cookie and peanut butter and candy cane, break apart, and tube. Fair enough. I don't think have I seen gingerbread Pillsbury? I've definitely seen the sugar cookie and the chocolate chip cookie dough from Pillsbury. I don't think I've seen candy cane or peanut butter though. I could be wrong on that though. Yeah, having not enough crafts is worse. Like, what do you do when you actually run out of crafts and have time left for the weekend? I know it's ironic to say for someone with an overflowing to-do list. Honestly, though, like when I first moved out here, because I lived on the other side of the country, like that's where I grew up. I'm in Alberta now, so whoever had asked about my Muskoka sweater here, other side of the country. When I first moved out here, I didn't bring like any of my craft stuff. So when I first moved out here, it was literally like, so what do I do? So it was like one of the first, within like the first 2 days I was here, I was like, Walmart and some kind of craft supply. So I think I went and actually got a pack of embroidery floss to do some bracelets. I get wrist pain too sometimes, usually when I'm drawing and nodding a lot. Yeah. The real problem is that I use my hands a lot in my job since I play video games for a living. So I use my hands all day and then I can't craft. Ooh, fair enough. Yeah. Do you do video games for like YouTube or are you doing it for like something else? Like, can you take work a day in that you have a day off, like a break to alleviate that? Because if you keep pushing through it, you're going to get like tendonitis. And then you're really going to regret your choices when you're having to sit out 2+ weeks because you've actually really damaged stuff in your wrist and your hands in general. Kevin, you sent me a picture. Let's see. Oh, it looks like you finished your rainbow loom bracelet that you had started earlier with the bracelets. With the beads, sorry. Very cute. That white balance, man. There you go. You can see it a bit there. I want to make the Rex lace pens. Have you done any in the square fashion instead of the swirl? I have, but because you can't completely tighten it around the pen, it looks funny. So like the round one, you can get away with it because, like, do I have that in here? The round one you can get away with because do I have? Okay, I guess this is what I have point with. So the round one you can get away with because of it being the stitches being like staggered, like that's how it makes that spiral effect. But if you look closely, you can see the string kind of carrying in between. So if you did this square, your two like green strings wouldn't actually be fully side by side. They would look like that. And it's just a lot more noticeable when you do it squared. So it's definitely doable, but you might not like the way it looks. You've been reading a lot lately, or so I've been reading a lot lately about the tendonitis and stuff. Yeah, you should definitely make sure you work in a day or something somewhere, or you could start doing some wrist exercises because I used to type and write a lot and then type and write a lot at work and everything. And I started to get on top of crocheting and everything, a lot of wrist pain. And the ones that I found were to do, I think they call it like spider on a mirror or something like that. So you stretch out your hands and you put all your fingers together and you push your fingers together like this and it stretches out all of a bunch of the muscles in there. The other one is to do, one of these and hold it, and one of these, like pull your hand down, and that stretches all the muscles in your wrist. I gotta do it this side now because it's gonna feel weird otherwise. And same as even like just this, because it's gonna stretch everything all through here and loosen it up. And even just like shaking out your wrists was another one. And do that like 3 or 4 times a day. Do a few sets of those, and it helps. So at least at the very least, you do that because yeah, like I don't want to get super technical, but like you're going to end up with carpal tunnel because it's basically essentially the like ligament here bands around all the tendons and everything, and it's going to start pinching things off, and you're just going to do a lot of damage. Just do a lot of stretches, look them up. I looked up like physiotherapy stretches for carpal tunnel because I was starting to get like really, really bad stuff in here. And that definitely helped. My grandfather owned a grocery store when I was itty bitty, and I thought the doughboy was my boyfriend. That's cute. You're a beta tester for Riot Games. Oh, that's cool. I guess have to take breaks every week. You definitely, just make sure you're taking care of it because I have been that person who's like, who cares? Young, you only live once, whatever. And whoo, ouch. That's all I can say. And then it was like the better part of a year before I could really do my handcrafts and stuff again. Is there other types of pen weaves I can do on the pens? You can do any of them. Realistically, they just might not sit well in your hand. Any of the larger spiral patterns would probably work okay. Anything that's squared, like I said, you could probably do. If you get into the larger squared patterns, I feel like it might feel kind of funny in your hand, but you definitely can. It's just going to be a matter of your patience level, really, and what feels comfortable in your hand. I was told to do wrist rotations too to strengthen the wrists. Yeah, wrist rotations, shaking it out, spider on a mirror, whatever it's called, up, down, this. Was there? I feel like there might have been another one, but I don't remember. I sometimes take my lack of motivation and inspiration as a little break from my wrists and my back. I slouch a lot when I craft. It gives me a type of acid reflux after a while. Wow. Yeah, sometimes it's just best to like let it sit. Do you have any tutorial on the beginning of Rex lace bracelets? Because I remember doing those on middle school, but I never learned how to start them. Like the classic, like square. Is that what you're talking about? Because, friend, I don't have, I do have a tutorial for a Rex lace bracelet. And I think I walked through how I made it on there. But I do have Rex lace right here, so we can have a mini tutorial right here, right now. Woohoo! There's a couple different ways to, there's numerous different ways to do it. So the way I do it might not be the way that you like. A lot of people don't like my way, but I do it like this. So you have your strings, you find your center point, right? And then you're going to, oh my goodness. So they're not running parallel. There we go. You're going to put them into a cross. And I'm going to take the string that's on the bottom. So that's the purple string. And I fold up in between the space between the white and the other purple. And then I fold this white over the open edge of that purple I just folded. And then I fold the other purple down, which gives you, hold on here, like this. And then with this last white, you just go over under, over the open edge of this purple and under the loop of the purple you first folded. I am doing this at a very awkward angle, and I am like gimpily trying to, that was really mean. I am very struggling very hard to do it. And then you just pull it tight. So that's how I do it. I know there is a way that some people do it. Let's see if I can remember it, where you essentially, you take one of your strings and you find like almost the center and you wrap it around like that. And then you, let's see if I remember this. Thread your other string through the bottom of it, if I remember correctly. I never did this way. I've seen someone else do it, but. And then you just like over under. So that would be your open edge. So one side goes over that and under the other, like you would weave your normal Rex lace. And then the other side does the opposite. And then you pull your finger out and pull it tight. That just seems extra to me, but some people find that easier. You get the same thing. Where can I buy the big bundles of Rex lace? I bought mine at Michael's and Staples, or not Staples, Stedman's. Stedman's doesn't exist outside of Canada, and I think very few of them still exist in Canada. But these are from Michael's. I have a whole bunch of them. Some of them, I don't have any of the old ones out here. They're like, I think they're like $5 or $6 for the entire roll. And the basic colors have 100 yards on it. So 91 meters. That's how I used to Rex lace too. Yeah. That's how I start it. I know there's a couple other ways too. Some people like don't use their finger but fold both sides over and then do it. It's essentially make a cross, and then however you do your normal square stitch, if you remember how to do the square stitch, just pretend you're doing that in your first thing and you will get it. That's basically all I can say. And if you're wanting to do an actual seamless bracelet, then you flip it upside down and do your first stitch. And then, yeah. I got a video on it. I think I have 2. There's a lot of hate on them. There seems to be a lot of hate on most of the Rex Lace videos I do. They seem to be the most wild card. Never know what I'm going to get on those ones. So I don't know why that is. But yeah. I don't get wrist and finger pain. I get neck and back pain. I don't get a ton of wrist or finger pain now unless I've been going for a really, really, really ridiculously long time. I get a lot of lower back pain depending on what chair I'm in, but a lot of pain like in the upper back here. I definitely get that a lot. I get neck and back pains from bending over to knot. Yeah, me too. Time for me to get some sleep. It's almost midnight. Good night, lovelies. It was great to chat after watching so many past streams. Yes, thank you for joining us. I hope you had a good Friday. Thank you so much for spending your time with us. And hopefully you have a good weekend and a good week ahead. Enjoy your sleep. But anyways, guys, I feel like that's probably a good place to end this stream off because we've been going for 2 hours now. So unless anyone else has any specific questions, oh, Kevin is still here. I think he's crafting away, so he hasn't been super active in the chat, but he just messaged me and said he's still here. But I think we're going to end it off here, guys. So hopefully that mini tutorial helped you. Thanks so much for your time, Megan. No problem. I enjoy this. I was super excited today because I was finished work relatively early. So I wasn't like super rushing to get home, which makes this so much more enjoyable. So hopefully you all had a good week. Hopefully you enjoyed the stream. And well, did you just see that? I don't even know how I managed that. This literally just flipped up and got me in the eye. Woo! All right. Anyways, I hope you guys have a really good weekend and a really good week. Remember, we do this every other, I'm going to keep it Friday. I know I had an oddball Sunday last time, Friday. So not next Friday, the Friday after that. And I will hopefully see you all here again that day. All right, guys. Bye.